The Berejiklian government is considering reinstating a Plum overseas posting more than 2 decades after it was axed because it was a throwback to the colonial days. The post of Agent General for NSW, based in London, was abolished in 1993 after former Liberal Minister Neil Pickard, who scored the role as a sweetener for losing his seat in a redistribution, was caught up in an expenses scandal. Then Premier John Fahey told NSW Parliament on May 3, 1994, that it was abundantly clear to me, to all cabinet and to all government, that we no longer needed an Agent General's office in London. That was a throwback to colonial days, to the days when it was important to have garden parties and to participate in ceremonies. Quite frankly, there was little or no benefit accrued to NSW by participating in such a process, the then Liberal leader told Parliament. But last Thursday, NSW Treasury Secretary Michael Pratt confirmed at a budget estimates hearing that his office was investigating whether the role should be revived. We are looking at that, yes, Mr. Pratt said. Labour's Treasury spokesman, Walt Secord, said if the Agent General position were revived, it must be dedicated to protecting the interests of NSW jobs and investment. The last Agent General was recalled due to an extravagant lifestyle and expenditure abuses, Mr. Secord said. There will have to be strict safeguards to ensure the NSW quasi-diplomatic appointee does not abuse the position. We don't want to see a failed Liberal or National State Minister using the position to go to the cricket and eat cucumber sandwiches. Queensland, Victoria, South Australia and Western Australia have Agent General posts in London, and NSW has 11 overseas trade offices in 10 countries, including 2 in China. Treasurer Dominic Perrottet said NSW needed to review how it could be better promoted overseas. NSW is the economic powerhouse of Australia, and Sydney is the nation's gateway to the world, but resting on our laurels won't guarantee success in a rapidly changing and competitive global economy, Mr. Perrottet said. Other states are working hard to sell themselves overseas with greater representation on the ground, and we can't just stand by and let them try and push in front of us. Mr. Perrottet said the role of Agent General was still under consideration. At this stage, no decision has been made on how we will further develop our representation overseas, but it would be remiss not to be constantly reviewing how we engage and better promote NSW, Mr. Perrottet said. This means focusing on trade not just through European countries, but right across Asia and the Americas. Our commitment to growing our global reach is evidenced by the Premier's successful trade mission to Europe last month, showcasing what NSW, and in particular the new airport in Western Sydney, will offer. Gladys Berejiklian was the first NSW Premier to visit Britain in 14 years when she travelled in August as part of a trade mission. She was also the first Australian leader to meet UK Trade Secretary Liz Truss, who will negotiate a new free trade agreement with Australia once Brexit is finalised. Mr. Perrottet has previously floated the idea of creating a dedicated minister for Sydney to talk up our city and ensure it gets the same global recognition as London or Paris.